Hi, everybody. So you're finding that as we stay home longer and longer, some of the things that you plan to do or even want to do just begin to feel like too much and you just don't want to do them. If that's the case, then I hope you stay tuned because I have a tip that I think will help. I'm Ricki Heller from rickiheller.com, and I help people on restricted diets learn to love their food again so that they can stick with it for the long term, allow their bodies to heal, and just go on living their best lives. And so I was reading an article this morning. I subscribe to the New York Times online, and I was reading one of the articles around cooking that I just thought was brilliant and I wanted to share. So this was by a writer named Sam Sifton. And he was pointing out that for so many of us, this idea of cooking 3 times a day is kind of a novel way to be. We're not used to that, particularly in North America. I would say that's true, where most people are not used to that. And it can start to feel like drudgery, and it can start to feel like you just don't want to do it. And even for someone like me, whose career has been wrapped up around recipe development and cooking and food, and I love cooking, I have plenty of times where I just don't feel like it. And that's partly because of the fact that we are at home and we don't have access to restaurants, and we're cooking more from scratch than we ever have before. And on top of that, for so many of us, particularly women, there might be taking care of the kids and other responsibilities that you didn't have before. Maybe you're cleaning your house when you didn't do that before. Maybe you don't have access to all the same conveniences outside the home that you did before. I know for us, sitting down and just even deciding what do I need to order online for curbside pickup and thinking about it in a way that I don't have to do if I just go to the store and I see things right in front of me, it can feel heavy on your mind. There's so much going on. It can feel overwhelming. So what Sam Sifton suggested, and as I said, I thought this was brilliant, was if you feel like you just don't feel like cooking, and this can apply to really anything that you have to do that you don't feel like doing, the answer is do it anyway. I know that's not the answer you were hoping for. It's not the sexy answer, but that's the one that is actually going to help you the most in the long run and help you to stick with your diet over time and help you to be a stronger person over time so that you can get out of this quarantine better than you were when you went in. And why is that the case? Well, first of all, when you push through, because it's pushing through difficulty, and for human beings, pushing through a difficulty, it just gives you a sense of accomplishment and a sense of confidence. It actually boosts your self-esteem more than if you didn't, because it reinforces for your brain and for your own self-image that you are someone, A, who is able to push through difficulty, but B, who does what she says she's going to do. So if I say I'm going to exercise and I don't feel like doing it, my options are not doing it. But the other option is doing it anyway. And that means I don't have to do exactly what perhaps I plan to do. If I normally would do an hour of exercise and I just don't feel up to it, or I don't feel like doing it, I can maybe do 20 minutes of exercise or 10 minutes of exercise that day. But the fact is, I have then pushed myself through and I've done the exercise. I've done the activity I said I was going to do, and that reinforces the idea that I did it. And that means next time it's going to be a little bit easier to push through. And the next time after that, it's going to be even easier to push through again. And so it's kind of like building a muscle. Every time you lift that weight or every time you work out on that machine, it gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier. And ultimately down the road, it feels effortless. You don't have to try the same way anymore. And the same thing is true with cooking your meals or sticking to your diet or doing your exercise or anything that you feel is an important activity that you want to do. And maybe when you planned it, you knew that, you had a clear head, you knew it was something important to your life. But when the moment comes and you don't feel like doing it, that clarity isn't there anymore. So you push through and you reinforce that I am going to complete what I planned. It's also great for your self-esteem because you have that self-integrity that you followed through for yourself and you did something that was positive for yourself. And you're going to find that down the road, that is so much better for you, not only in this environment where we're really faced with difficulties pretty much every day, but anytime in the future when you're faced with a difficult situation or a challenge, it makes you the kind of person who can face that challenge more easily and more efficiently. So I hope that's helpful. I know we're all adjusting to this new way of living, and that's just one thing that you can do to make it a little easier. It won't be easier today, but it will definitely be easier down the road. Alrighty, everybody, I hope that was helpful. If it was, I also wanted to mention I have a free guide called 3 Simple Shifts to Sticking With It right now. And it's all about things you can do to stick to your healthy diet if you are finding it challenging. And that's at rickiheller.com/3 Simple Shifts, SHIFTS. All right, everybody, I hope you have a great rest of your day.